WWE, Triple H and TKO may be taking WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia, but according to a WWE Hall of Famer, Tony Khan should take AEW to war against the WWE, and he is recommending counter-programming against WrestleMania 43. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. We know there's a lot of people not happy about the decision for WWE to take WrestleMania 43 to Saudi Arabia, and I completely understand that. It shouldn't be in Saudi Arabia, and if you're going to take it outside of America, I think there's other places that you should be going first. How about the UK? How about Australia? How about somewhere, even Japan? You know, even Japan. Why not have it? Japan's got a historic, wrestling past. What you could have it in there, but no, they're going to take it to Saudi Arabia, and we all know why. Because of the oil money and TKO being sellout bastards, they will take whatever dollar. They don't care if there's blood on the dollar or oil on the dollar. They'll take the highest price possible that they can get. So yeah, it's happening in Saudi. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, we don't make the decisions. WWE do. But according to Bully Ray, he thinks that Tony Khan should start trying to bully WWE, and he thinks that the AEW president should make the decision to start counter-programming, and he should host a patriotic AEW American pay-per-view on the same day that WWE has WrestleMania 43. Now, we'll get into what Bully Ray says in a minute, and I agree with Bully Ray to an extent, but I think there's one problem with Bully Ray's game plan, and I just don't think it's going to work for this specific reason. But I guess you've got a lot of time between now and Mania 43. Who knows? Things could change. AEW might go on the rise between now and then. They might get more fans. They might have more viewers. They might have more momentum. We don't know. But as of right now, I'm not sure counter-programming is going to work. But this is what Bully Ray had to say. He said, quote, "The opportunity for Tony Khan during WrestleMania of 2027 to put on an event in the United States, WrestleMania-esque for the people here, for the WrestleCon to piggyback off, for the independent wrestling companies to piggyback off. It's right there in front of him, man. This is your opportunity to put on an event for the United States where, okay, wrestling fans, if they want to take their show all the way over there, fine. Here is what we're going to do." End of quote. And Bully Ray's co-host David LaGreca chimed in, quote, "I love it. Let's just say Chicago. In Chicago, have AEW's version of the Great American Bash. Let's do it. Let's do it here in the stadium, the same day as WrestleMania 43. We see the WWE counter-programming AEW all the time. This would be a great opportunity for AEW to counter-program the biggest show on WWE's calendar." End of quote. Now, I don't really care about Dave LaGreca, or LaGreca, whatever he calls himself. But what I will say is, he says let's have it in Chicago, the Great American Bash. Why would you have an American-themed pay-per-view in a fucking democratic shithole where the people are probably the most unpatriotic you can get? Why would you have an American-themed pay-per-view in a place like Chicago where they hate America? It doesn't make any sense. If you're going to have an American-themed pay-per-view, why not have it in a state that actually is proud to be American rather than Chicago? That's why I would disagree with him there. And let's get on to the main point. And again, I have to talk about Dave LaGreca one more time. He says that WWE counter-program AEW all the time, and it's a great opportunity now for AEW to counter-program the biggest show on WWE's calendar. So that's what he said, and Bully's basically the one that has put that thought in his mind that WWE now need to counter AEW. And I like the thought that Bully Race, I like his thinking here, I like the logic, I do, but I just don't think it works, especially when it comes to WrestleMania. To counter-program somebody, you need to really be the top dog. You need to be able to hold the power. And WWE hold the power because they're number one, and they can put on a show at the same time as an AEW show, and they can try and sabotage AEW without really hurting their product. It's going to be difficult for AEW to do the same thing. How do you counter-program the most watched show in wrestling every single year? You know, I think it would be detrimental to AEW. For WWE can do it and they can get away with it because they're number one and they have many more viewers, many more followers than AEW, but it just doesn't fucking work. You know, it's like some guy that is making homemade cola trying to counter-program Coca-Cola. You know, it's going to be difficult. Or some little guy that makes burgers at home trying to counter-program McDonald's. It's going to be tough because you're the underdog. And if AEW, I don't think AEW can afford to counter-program WrestleMania because all they're going to do is hurt their own show and diminish and just take away for the potential numbers that they could get watching their pay-per-view. Let's say AEW get like 100,000 people to buy their pay-per-views, for example. I'm not sure what the current numbers are, but let's just say 100,000. And then let's say that they have AEW, Great American Bash. We're patriotic, we love America, WWE don't. They hate America, they're traitors, they're in Saudi Arabia, all that good shit. And AEW then, quote-unquote, counter-program WWE, and they put their show on the same time as WrestleMania. Are they really going to affect WrestleMania? How many people, realistically, are going to not watch WrestleMania and decide to watch AEW's pay-per-view instead? I would argue a really small amount of people. However, out of the 100,000 people that, let's say, buy AEW pay-per-views, how many of them are not going to buy the AEW pay-per-view because they're too busy watching the most watched wrestling event every single year? WrestleMania. I would argue a lot. I would argue you could even say more than half your audience. So it just doesn't make sense. I get it. I like the idea from Bully Ray. But again, as I said previously, to counter-program, you kind of need to be the one with power. And the company with power is the one that has the most viewers, the one that has the most fans. And I just don't think AEW are really in a position to counter-program WWE. It's like TNA. When TNA moved to Monday nights, do you think TNA back in 2010, would they have moved back to Thursdays if they were beating WWE and they had the more viewers? Absolutely not. But they moved for a war and they ended up getting their ass whooped and they had to move back to save their audience. And I think it's the same thing with AEW. If AEW moved and had their pay-per-views on the same time as WrestleMania, all they're going to do is hurt their buy rates big time. So I like Bully Ray's idea. I understand it being patriotic, but I just don't think it's going to work. And it's not, you can't even have it on a Saturday because WrestleMania now is like WWE big shows are like 2-night events. So maybe they could, I don't know, maybe they could have it on the following week, or if they do it on the same weekend, have a unique start time, because I believe that with the time zones, they could probably, well, I say unique start time, they could probably still have, AEW could probably still have a pay-per-view on the Sunday night, and it would be airing after WrestleMania is finished in Saudi Arabia. I mean, I guess that is possible, but in terms of having your show go head-to-head with WrestleMania, not a good idea. Because you're just going to get, your numbers are going to get demolished, and that's the reality. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I like the idea behind this Bully Ray thing, but it's just not going to work. It's hard to bully the number one bully in the playground, and WWE, unfortunately, is that bully. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. If AEW hosted an American-themed pay-per-view, and it was on the same time as WrestleMania 43, what one would you watch? Let me know down below. Or are you smart and you're going to watch neither because wrestling sucks? That's probably the correct answer, but let me know in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.